My name is Hiroshi, and I must tell you of the horror that I witnessed on that forsaken island off the coast of Japan. It all began when I, along with a group of adventurous friends, embarked on a journey to explore the mysteries of the infamous Kuroshima Island, a place steeped in dark legends and forbidden tales. Little did we know that our curiosity would lead to the unleashing of an evil entity that had been sealed away for centuries. Our journey began with excitement and anticipation as we set sail towards the island, the salty breeze filling our lungs with a sense of freedom. Kuroshima Island had long been rumored to be haunted, a place where souls dared not tread. The island was isolated, a rugged terrain of lush vegetation and treacherous cliffs, surrounded by turbulent waters that had claimed the lives of many sailors over the centuries. Our group consisted of 5 brave souls: myself, Hiroshi, the fearless leader; Yumi, my childhood friend with a penchant for the supernatural; Takeshi, the daredevil with a fascination for ancient legends; Akiko, the skeptic who tagged along for the adventure; and Keiji, our tech-savvy member who couldn't resist the opportunity to document our expedition. As we approached Kuroshima, the sun dipped below the horizon, casting an eerie shadow over the island. Our boat cut through the calm waters and docked at a decrepit, weather-beaten pier. The island seemed untouched by time, and an ominous silence hung in the air. We ventured into the heart of the island, our footsteps muffled by a thick carpet of fallen leaves. The shrine we sought lay deep within the forest, surrounded by gnarled trees and ancient stone markers. It was said that this shrine had been constructed to imprison an evil entity, a malevolent spirit known as Onryo, who had terrorized the island centuries ago. According to legend, Onryo had been a vengeful woman in life, wronged by her lover and driven to madness. In death, she had become a harbinger of doom, cursing anyone who dared to enter her domain. The shrine was built to contain her wrath, but over time, it had fallen into disrepair and the seal weakened. Yumi, ever the believer, couldn't resist the temptation to test the legend. She approached the shrine, her fingers trembling as she reached out to touch the ancient stone. With a deep breath, she whispered incantations meant to awaken the spirit. We watched in silence as nothing happened, and a nervous laugh escaped Akiko's lips. "Just an old wives' tale," she said, rolling her eyes. But just as we were about to dismiss the legend as superstition, a bone-chilling wind swept through the forest. The temperature dropped, and a sudden darkness descended upon us. The forest seemed to come alive with sinister whispers, as if the very trees were warning us to leave. Then, it happened. The shrine's stone doors creaked open with a deafening groan, revealing an abyss of darkness within. A putrid stench filled the air, and a feeling of dread washed over us. Onryo had been awakened. Takeshi, always the impulsive one, stepped forward, his flashlight cutting through the darkness. We watched in horror as a ghastly figure emerged from the depths of the shrine. Onryo's form was ethereal, her long disheveled hair flowing like ink. Her eyes were empty voids, and her spectral gown billowed as if caught in an eternal wind. "Who dares disturb my slumber?" her voice echoed, a cacophony of agonized souls. Panic gripped us and we stumbled backward, trying to escape the malevolent presence. But Onryo was relentless. She reached out with ghostly fingers, her touch like ice, and one by one, she cursed us. Yumi screamed in terror as her body contorted and twisted, her face locked in a perpetual expression of agony. Takeshi's bravado crumbled as he was consumed by an invisible force, his screams echoing through the night. Akiko's skepticism turned to sheer terror as her body withered before our eyes, her life force drained away. Only Keiji and I remained, paralyzed by fear. Onryo turned her hollow gaze upon us, her voice dripping with malice. "You shall bear witness to my return," she hissed, and with a gesture, she released Use from her grip, leaving Use trembling on the forest floor. The shrine doors slammed shut, sealing Onryo once more, but the damage had been done. We had been marked by her curse and there was no escaping it. Keiji and I struggled to carry our cursed friends back to the boat, their lifeless eyes staring into the abyss. As we sailed away from Kuroshima Island, the moonlight revealed the full extent of our curse. Desperate for answers, Keiji delved into his research, scouring ancient texts and consulting spiritual experts. The curse that bound us to Onryo was relentless, and we were running out of time. Keiji discovered a ritual that could potentially banish the spirit, but it required the sacrifice of a willing soul to take Onryo's place in the shrine. The burden of that sacrifice weighed heavily on us. We argued and debated, torn between saving ourselves and condemning another to a fate worse than death. But in the end, we knew there was no other choice. One of us had to step forward and offer themselves as the willing sacrifice. In the darkness of night, we returned to Kuroshima Island, our hearts heavy with dread. Keiji, the tech-savvy member of our group, had been the one to uncover the ritual, and he felt a sense of responsibility for what had transpired. He had made his decision. At the shrine's entrance, Keiji recited the incantation, and the stone doors creaked open once more. Onryo's malevolent presence washed over us, but this time, we were prepared. Keiji stepped forward, his voice unwavering. "I offer myself as a willing sacrifice," he declared, his voice trembling with determination. Onryo's spectral form materialized before us, her eyes filled with a sinister glee. Without hesitation, she reached out and touched Keiji's forehead. His body convulsed as her dark energy flowed into him, and he screamed in agony. As the curse transferred from us to Keiji, the shrine doors slowly closed, imprisoning him alongside Onryo. The malevolent spirit's laughter echoed through the night as the doors sealed shut, and the island fell silent once more. We left Kuroshima Island that night, our hearts heavy with the knowledge of the sacrifice that had been made. The curse had been lifted from us, but at a terrible cost. Keiji had willingly given his life to imprison Onryo once more, a selfless act that would forever haunt us. In the years that followed, we tried to move on with our lives, but the memory of that fateful night never left us. The nightmares persisted, and we were plagued by guilt and regret. We had unleashed an ancient evil,